Oh look, it's a giant sheep monster. I'm going to snipe at it until it dies. That was easy. G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a Bloodied Handmade with plus 10% damage whilst aiming and faster movement speed whilst aiming, major and minor legendary effects respectively. I got this from Murmur a couple of script dumps back, and here it is for a video. So this thing obviously is going to lend itself well to aiming down sights, so with that in mind we'll play to that thing's strengths. So what I've got with this thing is just a hardened receiver to get the highest damage per bullet, and I'm hoping when we've got this thing fully specced out and under Nerd Rage threshold, this 10% could be doing a lot better than the 5 or 6 damage extra that we get out of it now, depending on whether the game actually rounds it up or not. But anyways, yeah, got the stabilized long barrel and stock on there. Usually I'd go for true or maybe aligned, but I'm going for form over function and making this thing look like an SVD. Speaking of looking at this thing, you'll notice how I've got the gold paint on it, and honestly, they didn't do the best job with this. They've got the suppressor, it's just got this weird texture on it. Same thing with the dust cover here. That's all wavy and light. It doesn't look like it's supposed to be a diffused texture at all. And also the scope, the actual glass bit of the scope has been completely painted over. That's not going to affect gameplay, but it's going to affect my immersion. So if Bethesda didn't give me like $120 worth of atoms the other day, I'd probably be very annoyed about that. But yeah, I guess being an advertisement billboard for, oh, look at these cool weapon paints is blowing up in your face right now, isn't it, Bethesda? Anyways, so going for a sniper loadout with this, obviously, it's an SVD, 56 damage unspec'd. Let's go ahead and chuck some perks onto this, shall we? So going for a rifleman setup here, like I said before, make sure I don't chuck on any unnecessary commando perks. I've done that in the past. Sorry, it's just a little bit of autopilot there because I'm usually using commando weapons for their superior DPS. But I'm wondering whether this thing, speaking of DPS, is actually decent in something like a clean fight. Whilst I don't have the damage of say a bloodied explosive lever gun or a bloodied explosive gauss rifle, it does make up for it in fire rate and mag capacity. So I don't know, this might actually be a sleeper queen killer, but we'll find out in the course of this video, I suppose. But first, let's get into Nerd Rage and see what this bad boy can do. So we're getting about 10 damage now extra with the Hitman's effect. Engaged in crime, I grasp my throat. In rage, my mind starts to smoke and force mental overload. Angry again, angry again. Okay, so here we are at Green Test shooting Dummies Plaza, and now we're doing 319 damage as you saw before. But I want to test this thing in the Hitman's legendary effect when we're boosted with all of the sneak attack criticals. So I've pulled off Adrenaline and Tenderizer for now just to test this thing out. And what I want to do is just get slightly into range so I can hip fire a Super Mutant Warlord and see what we can do. And then we'll find one, aim down sights, and then shoot them and see what kind of damage makes a difference. Because I'm thinking with all of the bloodied multipliers, I guess, and the stealth multipliers as well. Okay, 1186, that's an Overlord. Suicider is not the same. 1186, remember that. Aiming down sights for a second. 1258. Okay, so it's not as pronounced as I thought it would be, but I've got the damage to one-shot all of these guys at the moment, so that's pretty good. No excuses for missed shots here, I'm afraid, so nice one. Still, of course, I'm using serendipity to make sure I don't get shot at, but yeah, and even out of range we're still doing pretty good. There's another doggo there, but yeah, just shooting this thing with the stabilized stock, you can tell there's barely any recoil. So if you have a hard time actually sorting out recoil and controlling it, this is definitely a decent pick for it. It also makes it look kind of cool, a big or long sniper. But if you are playing as a male character, you probably get mocked by female dwellers saying you're compensating for something, but that's okay. You just want a big cool sniper gun, and who wouldn't? They're pretty cool, right? SVDs are pretty cool. There we go. I'm going to chuck on Adrenaline and also Tenderizer, and we can get started in here. Okay, I should probably talk about Tenderizer. I didn't know this before, but Tia did a video, and credit to, I think it was Angry Turtle who figured this out, or just let him know to let me know, that, yeah, Tenderizer is multiplicatively stacking. How much? I'm not really sure. If it's infinitely stacking, obviously it'll make it a great queen killing perk for anything that's got a supremely high rate of fire, but there might be a limit somewhere. But if it works how I think it works, and that it... Okay, I'm a little bit sloppy here. There we go, nice sneak attack critical. It's not going to put me overweight, is it? No, it's not, but it's a 1-star thing on a 3-star... I mean, yeah, a 1-star thing on a 3-star enemy. Oh, we're in danger, are we? It's too bad I can one-shot all these guys, eh? So yeah, again, ammo efficiency is good for this thing. Not gonna have any problems with ammo anytime soon if you can just one-shot everything, but it might slow you down on a couple of creatures that might resist some of the... Can I get into caution now? No, I'm just perpetually in danger. Okay. I think one of the super mutants up top has detected me, and none of these guys... Everyone's kind of alert to me at the moment, and... I'm not getting the sneak criticals, but he kind of lost track of me, so now I can get them again. But yeah, if it works how I think it works, so I've got the plus 6% damage for 12 seconds, or 7 seconds, something seconds, but if that gives me like a 6-second window to get as much bullets as I possibly can on the target, to stack 6, 12, 18, and so on and so forth % extra damage, that would be incredibly powerful. Don't think it works exactly like that. It might give you a couple of stacks here and there, but still, an extra 18% damage will go a very long way in some of the lower damaging weapons, or, I don't know, it might be something worth trying out just in my own time. Might just test it out on the next Queen Tested. If this thing wants to be Queen Tested, it's kind of up to you. I don't really care either way, but if you don't want to see another Handmade go for the Queen test, then I wouldn't blame you, because I've covered this weapon quite a bit, and I did one kind of similar to this in the form of an instigating one. I think it was just a 1-star, and yeah, this thing is getting infinitely better results. My aim sucks today. I need to play some Nuclear Winter again, because after a good Nuclear Winter sesh, my aim is actually on point. I don't get lazy. I think the amount of VATS I use in this game just kind of makes my aim lazy. Anyways, we'll crack this open, and then we'll get to killing these super mutants some more. Just gotta calm down a little bit. Keep on aiming down sights for that 1600 damage. Yeah, this thing's not even primed either, so what we'll see against the Scorch Beast is only a small part of its problem. 3200 on the head there, not too bad. That wasn't even aiming down sights. I'll see what kind of damage I can get aiming down sights for a headshot. 3300, that was an Overlord though, so not really the same as a Warlord. Aim down sights for a bit. 3300 again. Warlord. No, I still get 3300. That's interesting. Maybe they're not so different after all. I would have thought that the Warlords are a little bit more resistant to damage because they're higher level, but yeah, 3300, you get an extra couple of hundred damage, which may not seem all that significant when you're hitting enemies this hard, but when you've got an enemy with a health bar of 32,000 and also a 70% damage resistance factor and just an uncanny, like a 100% serendipity chance to avoid explosive damage, you might think that that might be, you know, useful in certain situations. Not this situation. Also, time for Wastelanders spoiler. I want to kill some fucking ghouls. Okay, so I don't think it's going to be any secret that I'm basically going to be one-shotting everything in here. Let's see if I can't avoid this. Yes, I avoided the trap today. That's like the first time ever. Now, where's that bloody Radroach that spawns in? Maybe he's run around the corner already. I did hear something disturb the, things. So anyways, what we'll do is just try to stand our ground here and knock off every single ghoul that comes around the corner. And despite only having the mag size of 20, the fact that we can one-shot most of these guys means that it doesn't matter all that much. It's kind of like the LMG effect. If you've got a sufficiently powerful enough one, the mag capacity of 75 doesn't matter as much as compared to other weapons with higher mag capacity, say just like a random basic minigun. But might chuck on maybe a singing mag against the Queen because, you know, having to reload every 20 bullets when I'm basically going to be firing them as fast as possible. Might be using this more as a VAT setup here just to boost extra damage out of criticals. Don't think that we mattered that we got detected in the end because we're almost done anyway. Make sure you don't miss the point blank shot. You know, every time you miss a point blank shot in real life, that's just another 10 that you'll miss in VATs. So, I think we're almost done here. Is there a Wendigo down there? I didn't see a fat fuck either. There he is. The trick here is to sneak before you're around the corner. Then you won't get sucker punch, but luckily my reaction times were adequate enough in that situation to allow me to get away with that. And we'll move on. See if we can't one-shot Swan, eh? Alright, so there's Swan over there, and if we don't one-shot him, we can see how much extra damage we get out of Tenderizer. Okay, I didn't really see that because I can't compare the headshot to a body shot, but he's dead. Alright, time to kill some crabs, eh? And that's not the crouch button. That was, in fact, the jump button. So if we can quickly ding them in the head from here. Oh, we got an extra 59 out of that. That's not too bad, to be honest. Obviously, everything's kind of synergizing there, so an extra 10% and then an extra 6%, and yay, multipliers. Also helps that I'm getting an almost 4 times multiplier on the sneak critical too, but, well, what suppressed weapon can't do that already? But, yeah, it's working. Didn't get the tenderizer on that one, though. That was bizarre. And I just chopped him in the face. I think that is all of the enemies that were around. Do we have full adrenaline? Not quite, but there's the queen. There's a completely unnecessary reload. While we're young, we'll take the queen out. Not seeing any effect from that. Huh. What am I missing? Obviously that guy, but not for long. Ha! Let's move on. Another potential advantage of having a scope, especially in areas like this, is, I mean, obviously the range functions as shown here are pretty good. There we go, Tenderizer's working again. Do I have to wait for it to completely wear off on the enemy that I was shooting before I can reset it? Ooh, I don't really know. But anyways, so I've got the range here, and I can just one-shot everything as I please, and I can stay away from those nasty rad barrels that might object to me being at nerd rage threshold here because, well, yeah, rads will kill you quickly. If it's not rads killing you, it's definitely damage over time. So what we can do is take a slightly different approach to this area and snipe from a side where there won't be quite as many rads. We've only got snallies, so as long as we aren't getting detected by these guys, we should be fine. And again, we're in range now, 2400 damage. I think the only thing holding it back is the suppressor's range penalties, but once the queen lands, if we're in a situation of shooting her there, well, the range penalty isn't going to matter. And if she's on the ground, being shot at, plenty of DPS to be stacked on there. We're done here. Okay, so the bat test. The moment you've been probably waiting for, or you maybe just skip to it, and I wouldn't blame you because I think we get the picture of the Handmade with Bloodied and everything. We know how it's going to turn out. You can't shoot through that. Except that you can sometimes. I must have hit some other dodgy thing. So there's something shooting at that particular Scorch Beast, so let's just sort those bastards out. Ah, it's a bunch of robots. Ah, cool. And remember, hit the gutsies and the thrusters and they will drop very easily. There we go. Sentry bots aren't too much of a problem either. They're such a big target and they're not very perceptive either. Something a little bit more worrisome is the Colonel Gutsies that shoot you with the bullets. The laser ones are like teddy bears. I don't have fireproof either, but whatever. I'm using a stealth build. No need for nothing too fancy in the old defense buffs. There we go. Very, very easy kill there. The insane Scorch Posse right on time. And since I killed that one a little bit further out than usual, I'm thinking I might get the one that teleports in up there somewhere. What if I can get him as soon as he spawns? Oh, I was pretty close. I was pretty close to where he spawns. I'm going to take note of that, see if I can't just inch myself whilst aiming down sights one day and just blast him as soon as he spawns. I reckon that'd be fucking hilarious. As you can tell, no problems there, and I'll just take a quick note of how many bullets I do use against the next Scorch Beast to give you an idea, unless you've been doing that already. I mean, you can watch the ammo counter. I've got to worry about aiming here. And despite me not having this particularly set up super well for that, a little bit of gun feel action never goes astray. And obviously this thing with the longer barrel, the scope, gives it a bit of an accuracy buff in terms of that usage too. So that works at the cost of AP, but we're running full unyielding AP regen. I don't think I'm going to wake up that Scorched Beast. But I think you get the idea of this thing. Wouldn't call it a sleep weapon because anything bladed with a suppressor is good in the hands of a stealth rifleman or commando, but definitely it did really well, and that's definitely no denying that. So if you'd like to see this thing in your game, well, if you decide to make me queen test this, then I'll probably put up for sale after that because despite how good it is, I don't think I can throw away my Fire Rate Handmade for this thing, despite it being actually really fun to use. Thank you for watching, guys.